Hello everybody and welcome to our home here in Brittany in northwest France and our channel Frugal Queen in France. If you're here for the first time, you're really welcome. I'm called Jane, my husband Michael is behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free, and share with you our thrifty and frugal life here in France. And just as the title says this week, no spend January, was it worth it? I'm going to start off by answering some of your questions, or questions that you might be thinking of or just might be a bit puzzled about. So first of all, you might be thinking, why would I or anyone have a no spend month? For some people, it's a frugal reset, isn't it? It's a getting on with things that don't cost any money. Sometimes it's just a bit of relief after Christmas to stop spending money. It might be just because you like to top up your savings, and it's definitely the latter for us. You might, like us, have a variable income, and if you have a good month where you earn a bit more money, that's the time that you might want to put a bit of money away, because let's face it, we all get those rainy days. An answer to a question I have been asked, and it's really strange that somebody asked this, but then it's not really strange because if you're not retired you wouldn't get this, would you? And the question they asked is, so if you're retired, why do you need to save? And we're the same as everybody else. We've got all the same expenses. The car could break down, there are things that you need. I might need a new pair of glasses, who knows? Something terrible might happen to my teeth. I might need to have something done to my teeth. I might just want to buy something. So even if you are retired and you're on a fixed income, you still need to put a small amount of that away if it's just for short-term savings or long-term savings. And we're thinking to ourselves the other day, we really don't know what we might like to do or want to do in 2 years or 3 years. So it doesn't matter what age you are, of course, we need to save the same as everybody else does. Now the next is a genuine question that we've been asked, and it's a perfectly viable question. And somebody says, so what are your savings goals? What are you saving for? Why are you being frugal? Why are you saving this money? Now, this time last year, by the end of January, I think Murphy had knocked on our door every single week. Something went wrong, something broke, and we were dipping into savings all throughout last year for things that we needed. The turbo had to be replaced on our car. Our roof leaked and it needed a massive repair. So there are always going to be things that you need. And we were in discussion with this. There's always going to be things that we want. We might want to follow the Tour de France around France one day, and that would be expensive. So having that bit of money aside just gives us freedom and choices and options. And the other part of having that money set aside and being thrifty to put it aside means when Murphy does come knocking on the door, and oh blimey, he does occasionally, it's not terrible. It's an inconvenience, it's a nuisance, we've got to fix things or replace things, but it's not a disaster, it's just an inconvenience. I don't know about you, but I like watching budgeting videos. It kind of gives me some kind of reference. And I watch budgeting videos to think, well, am I saving for everything? Am I paying for everything properly? Am I putting money aside? And they give me some kind of reference to reflect on my own budget. And as a saver or somebody who's living frugally, you do every now and then have to evaluate your spending and your saving. So you might be asking yourselves, or you want to ask me, but I can't actually hear you, so I'll do it for you. So how much do you normally save? How much do you normally spend? And what does that look like on a no-spend month? So just for you, because you might be interested, we're going to take a look at the figures for no-spend January and then compare those with the figures for a spendy month where we don't have any restraints like February. Let's take a look at that now. Let's take a look at 1 month's budget. And after this, we'll take a look at 1 month's budget where we save much, much more. Now, if you're watching for the very first time, I need to explain to you our income. Our income comes from 2 small pensions plus the money we earn from YouTube, and this figure is after all deductions that we pay here in France in taxes and social charges. And this money we earned in December. We don't get paid until the end of January, so we just now know this figure, and that is the money that we will live on in February. And that figure for this month, for February, is 2,194 euros. We have no debts, and we have no rent or mortgage. And then, because we're great believers in pay yourself first, the first thing we take off and save is 10% for long-term savings. So 10%, we rounded this up to 2,200, is with 220. And then in our long-term savings, we've got our car savings. That's to replace the car. So that's 85 a month. And then we have our sinking funds. You might call them savings pots. You might call them short-term savings. These are things that we're going to pay for this year, or we might have to pay for this year. Let's go through them. And these are the amounts we have to save each month. We're saving up to go on a trip or to take a holiday, 84 a month. We save for clothes, for shoes, for a bag, Wellington boots, anything. From a pair of knickers to a hat, we save that money each month. We then have the taxes to pay on our house. We have to save 48 a month. We have income tax to pay in a lump sum, so we put aside 50 a month for that. Our water bill comes in twice a year, so we have to put aside that to pay those bills. We save an amount each month for Christmas and birthdays. We save an amount each month to pay for pet care, pet grooming, if we go to the vets, if we need medicine. We save an amount each month in case the car breaks down, and for regular things too, like new tyres, new windscreen wipers, servicing, maintenance. We then save a nominal amount each month for anything that might need replacing in the house. So, obviously here. And then we save an amount of money each month for projects that we are going to do this year to the house, and those total to 749 a month for our short-term savings and 305 a month for our long-term savings. So you can see here how we budget each month. We have our income, then we take off our long-term savings, then we take off our sinking funds, and we take off our fixed costs, and we take off our discretionary spending. So that is the amount of money we could spend this month if we wanted to, but most of the time we don't. I'm sure you might be interested now in our fixed costs. So how do we arrive at that figure of 770? We spend 368 euros a month in the supermarket. That is all food, all drink, all pet food, all pet shampoo, all toiletries, deodorant, anything we needed from moisturiser to anything, and any cleaning products. We buy it all at the supermarket. We've set aside €368 a month. We then have Mike's mobile phone, the car insurance. Again, if you're watching for the very first time, we don't get a discount in France for paying it in a lump sum. We don't get charged any more for paying it monthly. Our 2 health insurance costs are £101 per month. My mobile phone is £20. We have the 4G internet is £20. We have a social charge, which is kind of like, in the UK, I think you would call that national insurance, and we've got that. SOSH is our television, home phone and internet. It's not very good, hence we pay for 4G as well. EDF is our electricity bill, and then car fuel a month is £50. And then we have £370 here for discretionary spending. We tend to spend this bit more in the summer. We tend to get through things like strimmer wire for our brush cutter, fuel for our lawnmower or chainsaw. So we spend a bit more in the summer, but we don't have to spend this if we don't want to. And you can see again, there it is. And next, we'll take a look at a no spend month. If I were you and I was watching this, I would be wanting to know, well, go on then. How much did you save in this no spend January, and was it absolutely worth it? Right, as I said at the beginning of the video of the why do we save, and we save for the rainy day. And when do you save? You save when you've got more money, not less money. So here, as I said earlier, are our income. We earned the money in November. We got paid the money in arrears at the end of December, and that was our income for January. And our income was $2,797. And also, like I said earlier, our income is variable. It goes up, it goes down. Our long-term savings is $280, car savings $85. So, as usual, long-term savings we've got here $365. And then we've got sinking funds, short-term savings, $767. Our fixed income, fixed expenses, I beg your pardon, was $739. You're saying, why is that less than last month? Because each month for this year, we are taking part in a €1 challenge, meaning for each day, we are aiming to save another euro. And the only way we can do that is to take it from our supermarket spend in this month. So we have our £1 challenge in this month, which would have left us with this month with a whopping great big 905 of discretionary spending. And you're thinking to yourself, why is it so big this month? We spent less on food. We didn't buy anything at all, and we didn't go anywhere in the car very much, so we didn't put any fuel in the car either. So, if we come down to the bottom here in the big magical figure, instead of 10% savings, we saved a massive 45% of our income that month and put aside into our long-term savings. And our long-term savings is the money that we don't touch. Our short-term savings, our sinking funds, is money we're going to spend this year. This is money that we don't intend to save this year. My husband and I are smiling at each other because you never know when Murphy's going to come knocking on the door, do you? So we do think it's worth it for us, and the figures speak for themselves. Now, whenever we open our budget book with you and whenever we share our figures with you, I always like to add in Being frugal, being thrifty, saving money, living on a budget is absolutely different for everybody. I am totally aware when I present these figures, there are people that are living here in France, for example, on one UK state pension saying, I live off so much less than you. They may live off a French pension and say, I live off so much less than you. There may be people looking at it going, saying, I am so much more frugal than you. I'm also aware that people watching that would say, I couldn't live off that. I couldn't live like that. And personal finance is personal. Budgets are personal. We share what we do as a hope of explaining or encouraging to people to be helpful, to be helpful. And I'd like to say, if this has been helpful to you, if my explanation of a no spend January and how much we've saved might encourage you to have a no spend month, would you try it? Or have you ever had a no spend month? Have you ever done it, for example, to put money aside for a holiday or to pay for something? Who knows your reasons? I just hope that you've enjoyed our video today. I really hope that you have, and please go on, give it a like. I would really appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love it if you would become a subscriber. Just leaves me to thank everybody for watching on behalf of Mike and I. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.